Hi guys, welcome back to Cernys Journeys Kids. We're going to do a virtual road trip to Maine today.
All right, we'll start us off by going to find the map. If you need a map, go to cernysjourneys.com and follow the blog, the virtual road trip of the U.S., and you can get a map there. All right, so we're going to Maine today. Everybody find where Maine is.
Right, tip.
You are right. It is in the very, very northeast of the country. In fact, it only borders one U.S. state, which is New Hampshire. Canada is to the north, and the Atlantic Ocean is on every other part of the state of Maine's borders. In fact, it's about 3,000 miles of coastline in Maine. So, few things about Maine. Maine became the 23rd state in 1820. And it's known as the Pine Tree State. You guys know what a pine tree is?
Yes.
Yeah,
we have one.
We have one in our backyard. That's right, we do. It is the top producer of maple syrup. So it produces about 545,000 gallons of maple syrup a year. So that's enough to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Can you imagine how much syrup you'd have on pancakes with?
I want that.
545.
Imagine swimming in honey.
Well,
I want to do it.
Kind of very similar. And so the state animal is. It'd be really sticky. You'd need a bath like for days in that, right? So the state animal is a moose. Yeah, the state animal is a moose.
Should have drawn a moose.
You should have drawn a moose, but we didn't. Remember when we saw a moose, the big statue of a moose in Canada, in Niagara Falls?
No.
No? Okay. And one thing I think is pretty funny about Maine is when people from Maine actually call something a bug.
A bug?
A bug? Yeah, you know how, what do we think is a bug? Like a little
bug.
Like an insect, right?
An insect. Like a beetle.
So people in Maine refer to lobsters as bugs.
Oh?
I know, pretty funny. I know, I didn't know that either.
Lobster is pretty good.
I wouldn't know. I'm allergic, but yes, I know you like it. That's right. So
I've never tried it, so I don't even know what it tastes like.
Well, so we're going to talk about a few things that Maine is known for today. We're going to talk about Lighthouse. So Maine is known for having lots of lighthouses. In fact, we saw some when we went there, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. But we're going to talk about one in particular. It's called the Nubble Lighthouse. And we actually went to that one. It's the most photographed lighthouse in the U.S. And so it's actually pretty cool. It's in York, Maine. So as you're leaving New Hampshire, you stop at York, Maine before you get to Portland. So if you think of a lighthouse, most likely you've seen a picture of this lighthouse. It's white and then it's got a black top. So let me tell you a little bit about Nubble Lighthouse. So Nubble Lighthouse, in 1879, the government gave $15,000 to actually erect this lighthouse. It's 41 feet tall, and its light at the top goes to 88 feet tall. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty tall, actually.
I want to go in it. Did we go in it?
We didn't go in it. It wasn't open that day to go in. And I don't even know if they could have opened it, but it became. They started using it in 1879, and now it's actually a National Historic
Did we go
landmark.
in the lighthouse before?
I don't know if we went in one. No, I don't know if we did. But that cool light that's at top that goes around and round and round, it ranges 13 nautical miles, which is equivalent to 15 miles if we're driving in our car. And so the reason why lighthouses are important is because a lot of the coastline, especially in Maine, is kind of rugged and it could be dangerous for people who are out in boats. And so it serves as a navigational aid for those who are out piloting their boats, for not only in the sea but also in the waterways, inland waterways, to help them know where they're at. So that's why they're there. So one cool thing that I did find as I was researching this is this specific lighthouse. If you go to their website, it's called Nubble, Nubble, light.org. If you go to it, they talk about the history of the lighthouse, and they have some really cool things on there. You can actually do live webcams, so you can actually see what's going on right now at the lighthouse. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Right now?
right now you can see exactly what's going on there. So if you go onto it, you click the Discover tab and you go to live webcams. Look, you can see, check out what's happening on the island right now. Jamin, you remember this place?
Yes,
Do you?
I do.
I said it very quietly so nobody knows. Do you remember it now? Okay. So, another cool thing we did when we were in Maine, and I would recommend it to everyone, we went on an Odyssey whale watching tour.
Oh, that was really cool.
It was really cool.
Yeah,
So,
I loved it. We saw fin whales.
well,
It
that's
was the second biggest animal in the world.
so you're stealing my thunder, buddy. Did you know that we were going to talk about fin whales? Well, now you do. So we are actually going to talk about fin whales. So when we were there from Portland, we went on a whale watching tour, and we were super excited because we got to see a few types of whales, but the one we were super excited to see was the fin whale, or finback whale is what it's called. And it's, so in Maine, they have different types of whales that are common. The humpback whale, the mink whale, the North Atlantic right whale, but the fin whales are really cool. So the best time to go whale watching is between May and October. It's the best time to see them because the water is just right and there's a lot of good fish for the whales to eat. So the fin whale specifically, Jamin, you want to tell them what you just said?
They're the second biggest animal in the world.
Yeah, do you know what the first one is?
The blue whale.
But the blue whale, that's right, dude. You are smart. You remembered that from a while ago. That's great. So he's right. So they can be 100,000 pounds.
Wow. Whoa.
They're that big. Do you remember how big it was? It was bigger than our boat. Like, it was
yeah.
huge.
It had like babies all over.
Yeah, so there's 60, they can be 60 to 66 feet in length. And the cool one that we saw a mama fin whale with its baby. And the reason why this was so cool is because fin whales are actually on the endangered species list.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, still some countries allow whaling. And so what that means is people actually slaughter whales for different pieces of the whale to eat or other parts. And the fin whale has become endangered because of that. So when we were there and we actually saw this mama with her baby, we were really excited because that means the population is growing. So a little bit more about the fin whales. They are carnivorous, which means they eat.
Why would people like to kill a whale?
I don't know, baby. I don't.
It's just sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
Whales are one of my favorite animals.
Whales are pretty darn cool. So we were back
Not
on.
the orca whales.
Well, they're cool too.
They're cool.
Every animal has a reason.
They're cool, but they also eat people.
No, they don't eat people. I don't think they eat people.
They
I think that's watching movies and stuff. But let's get back to the fin whale. So they're carnivorous. Do you know what that means?
No.
It means they eat meat. So the fin whales eat other fish.
Krill?
They eat squid. They eat crustaceans. Yeah. Yep. That's what they eat. So they're known because they have a tall spout and they have a long back and then they have that prominent dorsal fin. You remember what the dorsal fin is?
Yeah.
It's the fin that sits on the back of the back of
Yeah,
and they don't normally do the dives or put their tails out, but sometimes they just, remember they came out and the spout goes,
Yeah.
and, then, and you can hear it. You can hear it from a
That's
long
with
way.
every whale, I think.
Well, yeah, but this one specifically is known for its spouting.
Which whale usually just comes up and just jumps?
I think that's the humpback, which
yeah.
which the fin whales are an ancestor of, or their relations.
They usually go upside down.
I don't really know, but
Like a bat.
we haven't seen that before, and I really want to see that in the wild. That'd be quite awesome. Yeah. So we'll get there someday. So that's a fin whale. We're so excited that we've actually seen them in the wild, and that's pretty amazing. And if you ever get a chance to do some research on it, you can. If you go and look at whale watching tours, you can find some information on the whales, and you can actually kind of go on your own little boat ride to go whale watching. So a lot of these whale watching companies have virtual tours out right now where you can go and watch for whales, pretend that you're on a boat. So very cool. The last place we're going to stop in Maine. I said Wayne, Maine, is the Acadia National Park. This place, again, is the national park. We tend to like to go to our national parks because they're quite cool. So the Acadia National Park is 47,000 acres on the Atlantic coast. So it's up here, guys. It's mainly part of islands. And so it's got different places. So the Cadillac Mountain is one place that a lot of people like to go hiking at. There's a sandy beach there, or sand beach I think they call it, in which people go swimming. Yep. And then they also have their own lighthouse. Imagine having a lighthouse in Maine, right? So it's the Boss Harbor Head Lighthouse. So a lot of people go there. It's in the top 10 most visited national parks in the U.S. And it sees about 3.5 million visitors a year, so quite cool. And there's 158 miles of hiking trails. That's a lot, guys. And if you do go, most likely you're gonna see moose and bear, and you can see whales and different types of seabirds. The cool thing about this is if you go on the nps.gov, they have a really neat virtual tour there where it's actually interactive, and so you get to click on different things to kind of see what you want to see. It's really cool. I would highly recommend going to the Acadia National Park on nps.gov and doing their virtual tours. It's really, really awesome. So I think that is close to it for all we've got left of our virtual road trip for Maine.
Bye, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
See you next time.
Bye.